discussing earlier about how you had some struggles and you had some skills that needed to be practiced on and worked on. If I could ask you, what are some struggles that you have during some films, especially independent films, such as Are You Worthy?
I mean, I always feel like I need to be better. I'll feel like I did great filming it, and then when I watch what comes out, I'm always disappointed in myself. There was a film that I did almost a year ago now, where the whole film, it was a short, like 4 minute thing. It was me and another actor, and I had auditioned for it, and actually, like, I'd never done this before and never done it since. I knew I could have done better in the audition. Um, and I sent it in, and it just was gnawing at me that like I knew I could have done better. And I reached out to the director, um, and said like, hey, like, because he wound up posting the role again. That's what kicked it off. He posted again looking for it, and I reached out and said like, hey, like I've been thinking about it. I know I can do better. Can I give it another shot? And I didn't hear back. And I'm like, oh, like, and I was like just started, like I didn't know what I was doing. And so I'm kicking myself like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That was very unprofessional. Um, and then one night, like I'm going out to dinner with my family, and I get a message on Instagram from a friend that I'd met on another film. Hey, like Chris is trying to get a hold of you. Can I give him your number? Who's Chris? Okay, sure. Um, and then I get a text from the director of this film that the other guy they were going to have dropped out, and they'd like me for the part. So that was like, I want to say that was a Sunday night, and we were going to film it Wednesday night. So it was a 4 minute scene. It was still like 14 pages or so that I had to memorize, and the whole film was dialogue with me and another guy. So I did the best I could and got in there and was ready. And this other guy shows up, and he was running late, and he just walked in, and he was the character. Like he was one of at that point in my career, one of the best like actors that I worked directly with. And he didn't know his lines. Like he was pretty close, but like as we ran through it, it didn't matter because he was the character. And when he said it wrong, it still made sense. And I have, I do a lot of improv. So I think that that's actually a strength of mine to be able to keep it going if I miss a line or somebody else misses a line, but not to his level. So from the beginning, that whole shoot, I was feeling like we were at different levels. And it came out finally, and I hated it. And it was one of those things where it wasn't a small independent thing, but you can really tell when the director and the director of photography are like taking care to have everything perfect. Like you have an expectation of how it's going to look. So this film, I was looking forward to this for so long because I knew it was going to look good. Um, and it came out, and I was just so like I could barely get through it. I'm like, I'm so bad. I'm so bad in this. This is awful. And like so that kind of thing. Like even when I do something, like I know I want to be better. Now I've talked to the director since. He's having me back for another project later this week. So like to him, I wasn't awful, and I've shared all this with him. He actually had me on a podcast, and we talked at length about this. Um, and he doesn't see it that way. He thinks that for what that character needed, like I was right on, and like we actually like he was amazing that we spent like an hour on a Zoom call going through the footage that he didn't use to let me get footage that I could use for a reel. Because a lot of the film, like, I would talk, but they would focus on the other character's reaction to what I was saying more than what I was saying. There was a lot of stuff that actually, when I watched it with him that way, that I had done that was really good. And he wound up doing a director's cut of it that used more of that, and I really liked that. Like it was like a whole different film. So that was really cool. But anyway, like I don't think I've ever been on a set where I feel like I've done the best I can. And even Are You Worthy? Like there was some stuff that I remember filming that I thought this is gonna look good. I nailed that. And I saw it, it's like, oh, I could have done that. But then there was stuff that like scenes that we did that like didn't stick with me in my memory, but when I saw it in the film, like I nailed that. I did really well there. So it's so funny to like you sit there, you try to judge yourself and do better. Maybe you shouldn't because it doesn't look like you think it looks in your head.
I truly think that if you're judging yourself, right,
Mhm.
you're gonna instill self-doubt, and that's the worst possible thing you can do.
Yeah.
So, as you were saying earlier, you said you saw some scenes in there that you didn't think were going to be good, but then you were very genuinely surprised by it.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of concerned for our scene, and then we saw it on the big
Yeah.
screen, and everybody laughed. Everybody
Yeah.
loved it. It was honestly a highlight of the movie for myself.
Yeah. I think it was
Uh,
the biggest laugh in the film.
it was,
And that was
and
just like the two of us in the backyard.
it was just kind of a moment where the killer is just, he's looking for something to do. He's
Yeah.
bored.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a nice like look at that. Like, okay, yeah, well, we know that the most movies, we know that the killer is still out there, but what are they doing in this moment? And this film actually kind of gave you that glimpse in it. Like he wanted to kill again,
Yeah. Just wandering around finding other victims that aren't part of the main storyline.
And
Because
I
why
think
not?
and I think that's kind of great because you never know what a scene like that, like Scott could have easily just kept that scene out and we would have never seen the light of day to it. But it ended up being such a great piece in that film.
Yeah.
You never know when a scene like that is going to derive into something else.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, right? You were saying earlier that there was a character in it who was, I think the wording would be kind of based on the actor himself, right? So if the guy messed up, it makes sense. But guess what? Like if stuff like that happens, it could lead into a bigger, broader story for a sequel. It could lead into a bigger, broader story for a spin-off for
Hmm.
anything. You never know.
Yeah.
Go with it, go with your instincts, and do the best job that you can, and don't judge yourself until you see the finalized product.
Hmm.
I was wondering, you mentioned earlier how you got to work on these big sets with some big people, and you said something like you got to work with Mark Ruffalo. How did that come about for you? Like, is that just luck for you?
I don't know. Yes. Um, I mean, yes, it absolutely is luck. I mean, of course, the saying is, success is when luck meets preparation. I'd like to think that it's a little bit because I was there and prepared. When I was doing the show Task, there was a scene where we were filming in the woods and it was late and it was running long. At one point, the PA gets a text like, "Pick your two favorite cops to come in early tomorrow and shoot a scene with Mark." And he went to one guy who does both like craft services and crew work. So he knew him on both sides of the camera. He was there as a cop. He's like, we want you. Can you come in early tomorrow? And then he came up to me and asked if I could come in early the next day. I don't know why. Like, clearly I did something that day that made him choose me. I don't know. Or I was just close to him and he was walking by and didn't care. I have no idea. But the two of us got to come in early and shoot a scene in a creek, like just the two of us and Mark. That was super cool, and still one of the highlights of my career are one of the day that got rained out, and then like a couple months later, they brought back as many of us as they could to finish the scene. And Mark Ruffalo's walking, getting ready to do his, actual acting. And he looks at me, he's like, "Oh, hey, you're back. How you doing?" Like, I don't want to say that I'm like doing anything right. Like, it's just you put yourself out there for these projects and you don't know who else is going to be involved and you don't know what you're going to do. I did a commercial that it's out on YouTube. Hopefully it's going to broadcast this fall, for NFL Sunday Ticket. And it was with Jason Kelsey, who I'm a huge fan of. And I had no clue. Like, I got booked for the commercial, show up at this time, and I had no idea what it was going to be. And I show up, and there's a trailer there and there's like a room blocked off. I'm like, oh, there's somebody like special here. And it turned out to be Jason Kelsey. I'm like, this is incredible. Like, yeah, I'm doing a commercial with Jason Kelsey. Now, I didn't have any lines. I was just reacting and cheering and a fan, but it was still like really, really fun to be there with him. He was a great guy, like amazing to work with, kind to everybody. Yeah, I mean, these things just happen. And what did I do special to get to do that? I don't know. I just got picked.
I think that goes to tell you it is always about the timing and the placement of everything.
Yeah,
The universe has a way of setting things up in motion, and it knows when you're ready.
yeah,
It truly knows when you're ready for your moment. And I think if you're patient, if you're humble and remember where you come from, and I think if you keep family in the back of your mind above everything else, because quite truthfully, you are nothing without your family. And I don't mean
yeah.
to say that to you in like a negative light, of
Oh
course.
no, it's true.
We would not be where we are today without family and without connection.
Yeah.
We would
And
not.
and we haven't talked much about it, but like a lot of what I have had success doing has come from my kids and vice versa because they do film and television and all that stuff too and they're loving it. But a lot of times like I'll put them in for a role and they'll book it and it's like, oh, by the way, like I'm also an actor. Oh, great, like we need a parent, and I get a part in the commercial or the film that way and vice versa. I did a film last August where I got the part and they sent over the script and I read it and there's a part for a young girl and a young boy. I'm like, hey, like I don't know if you've casted that yet, but I have kids. And they're like, oh, like send us an audition. And I mean, they got it. They auditioned, they earned it on their own for sure. But like I got them that opportunity, the same as they get me opportunities. And of course, my wife, who's my biggest supporter and helper and is phenomenal, is great. She's my reader when I do auditions, and she gives me great feedback to help me like tweak it a little bit. The one thing, this is funny, of course, she was my reader when I auditioned for Are You Worthy? And it is the only time that we've disagreed on an audition. I was doing it and I was doing the creepy voice, and she's like, "What are you doing? This is awful. Like you cannot send this in. This is bad." I'm like, "No, this is what they want. I know it. I feel it." She's like, "No, it's not good." I'm like, "It's good."
Could we get your Joel voice for us?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm really enjoying zooming with you.
I love it,
Oh, now,
man.
now my kids are yelling from the other room. They didn't like that at all.
God. You'll have to tell them it was for the vine, man, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you for doing that.
of course.
I love that you have such a big connection with your family. I love that you involve them with everything, and I think that is the perfect way to go about that because you have to have family with you supporting you.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my last question for you. Where do you see yourself with your family and for you in the next 5 years with this career here?
Ah, I mean, of course I have dreams. I've always hoped that this could lead to being a full-time actor. I mean, the odds of that are super, super small, so I'm realistic. I don't think that'll actually happen. My realistic goal, I think realistic, and 5 years is probably a little too soon. I'd love to be able to do like early retirement and support my wife and I once the kids are through college on acting. But that's like I said, that's longer than 5 years. Realistically, I want to get roles in something that everybody will have the opportunity to see. And certainly nothing against the projects that I'm doing. They're great, and I can share them with people, and people watch them and love them, and that's great. But I want to be on something that people would just like turn on their TV and there I am, or like something that I can say like, hey, go buy a ticket to this movie, like go to the theater and you'll see me like I'm the guy like third in the back, like, but to actually have like some lines or do something, that's my next goal as an actor, is to try to get, that role on a film that's in theaters, that role on a TV show that like people will see sitting on their couch, or even like, a national commercial where like, that's kind of my next level goal, that I feel like I'm trying to take that step up acting wise. And I don't know how long it'll take. There's people who do this for years and never get there. But the cool thing is I'm getting occasionally auditions on that level. So the door is open. It's up to me to take it. So I'm gonna keep working at it. For my family, I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know, honestly, and be honest with you, like I think they like acting. I don't know, and I don't want to be one of those parents who's pushing them into it because it's my interest. So I try to be very clear with them that like I'm only doing this because I think you want to. You tell me you don't want to do it, we won't do it. Like I'm doing this because you want to, and all of them, 100%, love doing it, love going to set, playing the role, getting paid, like that they love. They're actually getting less interested in the community theater. My one son has completely stopped. He has told me, I only act for money now, Dad. Like I said, I want to be supportive of however he wants to do this. But there's a part of me that's like, if you really want to do this for money, you have to keep working at it. Like, it's not, you're not always just going to get parts and get roles, So, but I don't want to push. He tells me he doesn't want to do it. That's fine. And that's that, he's not doing any other shows. My second son did a bunch of shows this year, and we'll see what next year brings. My daughter tells me she wants to be a professional actor. So, she's taking lessons, acting lessons, voice lessons, and hopefully she can make a go of it, learn from my mistakes, you know. Um, but yeah, I just want to be there for them and not push them, and not be one of those Hollywood stage parents who's overbearing. You have to do this. And sometimes it feels that way. I'll come home all excited because I got them an audition. Like, hey, you got an audition. Let's go film this. It's like, oh, Dad, I don't want to. I want to go play soccer. Like, well, like you said, you want to do this for money. It pays this much. Oh, it does? Okay, let's go do it.
That's the beauty of kids' minds, is they are consistently forever changing, and you never know what their passion is going to be next.
Yeah.
And it's kind of inspiring, honestly, because it not only gets them interested in things, and when they see you interested in it, it gets them more interested in it too.
Yeah. I do worry, especially with it being, the way that this industry is. They do face a lot more rejection than kids their age have any right to face. The number of auditions that any of us do compared to what we actually get is so small. And so far they're handling it. They're amazing at doing an audition and then completely forgetting about it. It's nice when they have success because it encourages them to want to do the next one. But, my one son, we did a commercial together at the beginning of the month. Other than that, like, they haven't gotten much lately, and there hasn't been much. Like, it's been really, for what I see, it's been really dead for kids. But so like every time something comes up, it's like, yeah, let's do this, and it's not for them. So I hope that I'm not pushing them into anything that is going to hurt them and make them feel like they're not good enough. But I'm keeping an eye on it. So far, it seems okay.
Good. I think the way you're going about it, man, is absolutely wonderful. Especially in this industry, you really have to keep an eye on your kids because it's a scary industry for that.
Yeah. We did a film together, my one son and I, and because of the tight quarters of filming, I wasn't able to be in the room. I was there like watching on a monitor the whole time, and I could hop in if needed. And he didn't like that. He told me afterwards it made him really uncomfortable. And I feel bad about it. Nothing bad happened to him. So I think it was just a general sense, but I'm going to do my best to not let that happen again because he told me he wasn't comfortable with it.
And that is the best sign of communication, especially when a kid says they're not comfortable with something. You have to listen to that.
Yeah,
That is a no joke gray area that you just have to listen to.
yeah,
And I think as long as you keep that patience that we talked about, man, earlier, I think if you keep that humbleness that you are showcasing right now, and I think if you keep your family close, I think you guys are gonna go a little bit further than you think.
hope so.
Well, Steve, this is the end of the show for us here. I loved having you on, and I absolutely hope that you will come back on again later when you do a little bit more projects that we can talk about.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Uh,
much for having me. It was a blast.
Absolutely. Everybody, if you could do me a favor, give Steve a follow on Facebook,
Facebook,
uh,
Instagram, Steve.Lelinski.
Steve.Lewinsky. And when does Task come out?
It's September something with a 7th or 17th. Um, I don't know what episode or episodes I'll be in. I don't know if I'll be visible at all. The trailer came out. Two trailers have come out, and I was able to find myself in both of them. One of them was very dark and blurry, and the other one was from far away, and I only knew it was me because I have a funny walk that my wife actually picked out. She's like, "That's you! I know that's you! I know that walk anywhere." Uh, there was some other stuff that filmed that was much closer. Hopefully, some of that makes it on, and I'll actually recognize me, and that that dream of people sitting on their couch and seeing me in the show they happen to be watching will come true, even if I don't have any lines.
I think it will, man. I think it will. Keep
Yeah,
honing your skills and keep that patience and humbleness to you, man. And I'll be checking out for you on Task this September.
yeah, excellent.
All right. Thank you so much for being on here, and I hope you have a good night, man.
You too.
Thank you.